Right, what a situation we have with New World. Players are not happy, things are confused. Let's talk about it. So last night at Summer Game Fest, we had the announcement of New World Eternum. The game is coming to console on, I think, October 15th, and it's going to be crossplay. That's sort of all expected, right? But then why, riddle me this, are the Steam reviews absolutely tanking in the last 2 days? Yesterday we had minus 379, and then today it's been minus 315. Now you might think that's actually not that much, but that's probably about a tenth of the population right now. And the whole issue really is confusement. Is that even a word? People are just confused, or they were confused. I think things are now clearing up this morning. They did a trailer, which by the way looks sick. Really enjoyed it. Good music, great trailer. However, everything else since then has probably not been that great. The dev video came afterwards, and we are not the target of this dev video. If you've watched all the previous dev videos, you've been sort of semi the target a little bit, sort of aimed at casuals, but at least it's aimed at PC players. This dev video is strongly aimed at console players. They talk as if they are only talking to the console players, which I think is a little bit of a misstep. They probably should have addressed the elephant in the room for all the console players. Hey, our game's already on PC. We're going to talk about all the new stuff that's coming along with this update. For now, we're just concentrating on the console, and you'll have new servers and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be fantastic, what have you. But they basically explained the game, and that's about it. And it felt very out of touch because you're not the target for that. There's a lot of interesting things coming, by the way, that would be quite cool and good updates, but it's all sort of been overshadowed by, you know, this miscommunication. For example, there's this thing where like there's going to be presets at the start of the game. There's not actually classes, by the way. You are going to be able to change, but there's these like presets at the start, which, if I'm honest, are really cool. But the whole issue, unfortunately, is very simply that players were deeply, deeply confused. Now, they have gone on Discord, well, in the middle of last night, depending where you are in the world. For me, it was around about 2 a.m. in the morning. Now, the problem here is some people thought that your old character literally wouldn't be playable in this new edition of the game. The way that all of the devs are talking, the way that some websites are talking, they're like, oh, New World's actually being removed and is being replaced with New World Eternum. And it's like, yes, but no, your old characters are still going to be there. And for you, it's just going to be a normal update. You will log in on this day, there will be a patch, and you can continue to play and do the new content, okay? But the way that they communicated sort of sounded like that wouldn't be the case. And that's one problem. I think we had around 25% in my Twitch chat last night who were just so confused on that. And I was like, no, there's no way they're getting rid of your old character. No, your old character stays and you can play them. And then there was another question, which I'm not really going to share here, which was about what happens if you've bought the base game but you've not bought Rise of the Angry Earth. On this here, it sort of says players that purchased New World base game but have not gotten Rise of the Angry Earth expansion will need to purchase the Rise of the Angry Earth expansion to get access to all the content. Some people are like, you can't even play the game if you don't have Rise of the Angry Earth. And that's not true. If you don't have Rise of the Angry Earth, you'll be where you are now. You'll still be like level 60. You'll still be able to like log in and play the game. You're not going to like just be like prompted to buy the expansion and that's it. So your old stuff is still there. Nothing like that has gone. Okay, very important point. People were confused. That's not the full story though, is it, right? People were also a little bit confused by the fact that they seem to be rebranding the game away from being an MMO. This enhanced version of our thrilling action RPG. Now, I don't think it's crazy that they don't mention MMO. I think maybe like other games that have gone to console that have been MMOs don't necessarily say it. But it seems like there's a couple of key points that were both during the dev video and even in their trailer that they really wanted to emphasize. I mean, at the end, Jeff Keighley said, you can play the whole game solo or with co-op. It's like, it's an MMO, mate. Of course you can play it with co-op. Like, what are you talking about? So they were emphasizing solo quite a lot, which, by the way, I don't think is a bad thing. But they were de-emphasizing the MMO element, which I think is possibly a bad thing. And they keep mentioning at some point, it's action RPG. They just don't mention MMO. Very strange, very weird. Apart from being confusing, and I think that whole thing is confusing, and I think the communication has been truly, absolutely awful. What actual content will you as a PC player get when you get this update, which is a free update basically? Well, that's where it also goes a little bit wrong. Is it really enough to keep you entertained? So what you're going to be getting is the first ever large scale PvP zone. Now, when they say first ever, I'm assuming they mean in New World. And if I'm honest, that sounds really interesting. So you're going to get a free-for-all PvP PvE zone, and you're going to gather rewards and resources from chests and monsters and rival players, and then you're going to escape with them. It's basically an extraction. You get on, you get all your goods, and then you run off, and it's PvP flagged and it's free-for-all. Although I'm not sure how free-for-all will work, because these guys look like they're sort of grouped. Maybe it's a group free-for-all. Maybe it's just like you know, whatever group you take in. And that sounds really interesting. I know a lot of PvPers would be interested in that. And that's going to be in Cutlass Keys, which I don't know if it's getting a full rework or if it's just getting changed in the PvP island. But yeah, this looks to be the map, or at least where the PvP would take place. And you know what? It actually looks pretty damn cool. Okay, sounds good. We're cooking. What else are we getting? Well, we're going to get a challenging 10-player raid. I don't actually have a screenshot of this, but in the trailer, I think there's like a Gorgon. Now, this raid is going to be 3 bosses, 10 players. You go in, you kill your 3 bosses. It's very difficult. Good. Okay, fine. No news about extra modes or anything like that, because there's no news about the actual new content. It's all focused on console. So PC players are left wondering, like, what are we getting? One thing they don't mention here as well is we are getting ranked arena. Well, actually, no, let me rephrase that. We're getting match-made arena. I don't know if it's going to be ranked. Now, with both of these two, at least, and potentially matchmaking, the gear score is going up to 725. So it sounded like this is actually the only place, maybe with the worm as well, this might be the only place where you can get 725 gear to drop. The PvP track, that's going to be gear score 700. They mentioned that. M3s are still going to be 695 to 700. And it sounds like the PvP zone, I assume that will also let you get to 725 because you get these like doubloons or whatever it is. And then I think you can like buy stuff from a shop. It's a good idea, cool idea. I presume that's also the progression. But yeah, there's also some matchmaking in Arena, which I think is also going cross-server, but I don't remember them saying that. That sounds fun. Maybe that's how the progression is going to start. There's also going to be some new endgame solo trials, which you can then repeat, by the way, which is interesting. And then there's not really much else. I made myself a little list, so let's just, let's look at that. We've talked about the first 3, they're the big ones. Cutlass Keys may be getting reworked, might just be a little PvP island. The burn mount is confirmed, by the way. It's not immediately obvious because when you look at a lot of the wording, they still just mention the 3 mounts, but on the Xbox page, you can quite clearly see a burn mount. So I don't know if that's just not ready. I don't know what's going on with that. They keep mentioning a new solo experience. I sort of assume that it's the current MSQ, but tweaked a little bit, because I don't see why you would redo your entire MSQ and then redo it again. I think they may have just reworked the levels 1 to 25 again, because in some of the footage you can sort of see them like washing up on the beach and all that kind of stuff, and it looks really cool. Swimming, by the way, is finally coming. Actually, here I've got no vampires and werewolves. I need to correct that because we actually do have at least werewolves, so I would assume we are getting vampires and werewolves. But there's going to be no level increase. Apparently there's no new outpost rush map. There's no new weapon either. We've not seen that. PvP tracks just staying at 700. Base players can play. This was when we were a little bit confused. I think the barbershop is probably coming because they're talking about how there's new models and that kind of stuff, but we've not seen it officially, so who knows. And the key question here is this good enough for a once per year update? Most people are saying no. We've waited now for quite a while, expecting huge content, and we're not really getting huge content. If I'm honest, it's the bare minimum content. We're getting a little bit of progression. We're getting the PvP island, which, if I'm honest, they both sound cool. I'm actually interested in them. We're getting matchmaking in Arena. Yeah, all sounds good, but is that enough, right? The answer is probably not. Season 4, Season 5 has not been good enough. Season 6 will probably not have anything in it either. This is all coming out in October. And yes, there's crossplay, and yes, you've worked on console, and yes, that sounds really interesting and all that kind of stuff. But for the current player base, you've sort of had a situation where we've just not had enough content for too long and the players have left, and I don't really see them coming back en masse. And even if they do, will they stay? And we don't know if they'll stay because there is no roadmap. We haven't seen a roadmap yet. What we really need, instead of this dev video behind me right here, right, we need an extra dev video where they're talking to me, where they're talking to you, where they're talking about the stuff that's coming and the reason you should be excited. And at this point, do not give us the reason that you're not ready to talk about it. You have to be ready to talk about it at this point. It's just as simple as that. It's too late. It's been too long. Players aren't happy. You can try and keep your cards close to your chest if you like, but I think it's time to now give us and tell us what's coming in October. Just start spreading it out, start giving it us. Don't hold on to it. That's a diabolical mistake. I don't mind this video, but I think we need something along with it to tell us, the PC players, what you are doing. And more specifically, Why do you think that content is going to keep those PC players? I know you've been working on console. I hope console goes very well for you guys. I don't know, I'm talking to Amazon. I hope console goes very well. But this just isn't good enough for the PC players at the moment. That's why people aren't happy. I think the hype doesn't match the reality. Like, if you've not been making content, basically real content for 6 months to like 9 months to even a year, then we sort of expect that the huge announcement will be good stuff. And whilst I am excited about the raid, and whilst I am excited about the PvP zone, it's not like insane, great new content. It's not like a Cyrodiil or something like that. Basically, it's a chest run that's PvP flagged. Basically, it's a 5-man dungeon with 10 people allowed. I mean, it's not that crazy different. I would assume. I know, well, I can't confirm that, right? I haven't seen it. I need to see it. We haven't seen it. We don't really know. But that's what players are thinking right now. I'm just saying what people are thinking. We're thinking, that's not very impressive. That don't impress me much. It's basically what players are thinking. And you know what? They're not wrong. Personally, for me, this year, I'll be trying Ashes of Creation. Might even try Once Human. I think Once Human's coming next month. At this point, I'm getting to the stage where they're going to have to win me back because I am going to play other games, and that doesn't win me back yet. I'm not uninstalling, I'm not quitting, but we need some kind of communication for the PC players, and we need it soon. I think some people are acting like they've been like shot in the face and it's the absolute worst drama in the universe. It's not that bad, but it's definitely not good either, and I'm not sure it's good enough. Console looks great, crossplay looks great, but is this good enough? Well, you know who'll decide that? The players. You know who's been playing the game so far and then left? Well, pretty much everybody else. So let's see what they got. Let's see what they bring us in the future dev videos. But you know, at this point, the community is disappointed. I think there'll be some people who are happy. And man, even my man ZMac from Reddit, he's questioning what he's up to at this point, and that's a Copium legend right there. Well, I'm a little bit lost for words, not really sure. We need more info. I know it's the weekend for them, so we're probably not going to see anything for a while. They're filming a Q&A, I think, on Monday. That Q&A, they should film it and release it. Don't wait till the following Monday. Get that out. Get it out quickly. Don't mess around. I know I'm in my little bubble of like, you know, Twitch and Discord and stuff like that, but you can just feel that the players are angry right now. I mean, you don't even have to feel it. You can, pretty obvious, right? I'll stop moaning. I was going to make like a huge video and put it on my main channel, but I was just like, my mind is sort of too broken right now, and that would take me too long. This is just sort of like my initial thoughts. We watched the thing last night. I went to bed at like 2 o'clock after streaming for like 15 hours. I've gone to sleep, woke up, made this video. So if I'm tired and I've got sleep on my eyes and stuff like that, I'm sorry, it is what it is. What I'm going to do now is end this video, edit it a little bit, whack it on YouTube, and then go live on Twitch. So if you want to come and watch me, then I don't have the thing because I'm on the wrong scene. But, you know, I'll be on Twitch. Come and follow me. Come and watch. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a fun day. And yeah, I suspect there's going to be a lot of angry voices. For now, I hope you have a most beautiful day. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm sure you will. Goodbye.